West, and this is going to be a video telling you about my 10 favorite blushes, 5 high-end and 5 like drugstore-esque kind of brands. This is a requested video from PuppyGod9877, I think was the username. In the comment section of one of my previous videos, she asked if I could do a favorite blushes video because she's having, or they are having, trouble finding the right blush for them because they have, she cited skin issues, saying she has large pores, wrinkles around the eyes, and so this is going to be kind of a comprehensive, like my favorite blushes, but not just for me personally, but to address multiple skin issues because they're going to be different textures and different finishes. So if you'd like to see what I have to say about that, please continue watching. So let's do high-end first. My first product is a cream product, or kind of it's a cream-esque kind of product. It's a color stick, an Argan Mini color stick in the shade Petal Pink by Josie Marin. And this is great because, first of all, it's multi-use. It goes on lips and cheeks. It has a really great like aromatic scent, and it has argan oil in it, so it really moisturizes. But this texture is great for drier skin tones because it really helps build into the skin, unlike a powder, or a powder will kind of get fixated on dry, patchy areas. And so first of all, no matter what you use on your face, you should moisturize thoroughly so that you eliminate this patchiness. But I find that cream products, when I'm having a patchy day, will go over inconsistent textures on my skin better than a powder will. So that's a good, probably my favorite kind of cream or stick product. Another favorite of the line of Laura Geller Blush and Brighten blushes, and this one is in Pink Grapefruit. You can see it's this kind of, they all are baked, I believe, and this one is in a pink kind of color with a shimmery finish, and this is great because it acts as both a highlight, and this has some serious shimmer in it, whereas I'm going to show you some other products later on that don't have quite as much shimmer. This really does have a shimmer. It definitely doubles as both a blush and a highlighter, which is why, in part, why I like it. Not only for the consistency, it feels like butter on your skin, but it also serves as both a blush and highlighter if you don't have enough time that day to do the full highlight thing. Put your blush on and go. That's what this product is great for. For a more natural looking matte blush, I like to use Jouer's powder blush in Peach Bouquet, and like I said, it's natural, it's powdery, it's peachy, it's just, when it goes on very light. I mean, I think it's swatching pretty strong there, but when it goes on your cheeks, it's very subtle and very natural looking, and matte textures tend to give your skin this soft focus kind of effect. They not eliminate, but they soften the look of lines and wrinkles and things like that. So if you are looking to minimize the appearance of pores, lines, and wrinkles, matte blushes are the way to go. The next product is a Pop Beauty product. This is the Butterfly Bronze Blush in Sun Blossom, and it actually comes with a blush and a bronzer, but as you can see, they're different. There are 3 different shades in each one, and I love this because it mixes textures. There are some shimmery and some matte within each. You get both your blush and your bronzer, but if we're talking strictly about blush, I like it because it does give you that mix of textures. Granted, they're all pink, but there's some pink with mauve, there's some bright pink, there's some I don't even know what you would call this, but you do get 3 different shades of pink, and even though you won't always necessarily be able to isolate them unless you go in with, say, a contour brush or a really tiny blush brush, like, say, to get this one right here. You can mix, say, the inner 2 or the outer 2 to get a unique shade. So it's very versatile in that sense, and even though it's not all the way matte, it still does give you some versatility and some shimmer if that's what you're looking for. Now for my last favorite high-end palette is the EF Studio Cheek Color Palette. This is in the shade C101, and I love this because it is entirely matte. Unlike this, the Pop Beauty one I was just describing to you, I like it because it has a mix of textures, and the shades are limited, but it has a mix of textures. This has more of a mixture of shades, but less so of textures. These are completely matte, so if you really are wanting to find something that's more flattering to your like skin texture issues, skin texture differences, this is going to be for you because matte shadows aren't going to emphasize large pores as much as a shimmery one is, and they're not going to emphasize lines so much as a shimmery one is. So this is a great high-end palette because you get these 3 different shades. This is a great bronzer. In fact, I've used this in a tutorial before, both this one and then one of these blush shades, but you get this bronzer or contour powder, kind of a rose. In fact, what is it called? This is called Rose and Petals. This is called a Little Toasted? That's not right. No, this is Tangerine Dream, and this is a Little Toasted. So you get kind of this light pinky peach, this mauve, and then this contour color. And just together they complement each other so well, and they give you a ton of versatility in one palette, but still give you that flattering texture if you are looking for really, really good matte blushes. My first drugstore favorite, and actually the counterpart to this Josie Maran color stick, is the e.l.f. Cream Blush. Now, this is more of a mousse texture, and I know that e.l.f. has products that are exactly like this. They're color sticks, all over color, so I don't even know what they're called, but they look exactly like this. I'm just not a fan of the texture. They're a little too greasy for me when they go on, and they just, if you're looking for something that doesn't emphasize all of the, you know, pores and stuff, those are not it, because they were very shimmery and very greasy feeling. So I decided to go with their cream blush, which, like I said, is more of a mousse texture, but is very nice. It might not hydrate as well as this Josie Maran, but for a drugstore, it's this $6, and I got this in like a kit, so I don't know how much this individually retails for, but I can guarantee you $6 is cheaper. So it's a good drugstore counterpart. The pigmentation is great. The texture is interesting and takes a little getting used to if you're not used to mousse products, but I like it, and once you know how to work with it, it works beautifully, applies evenly, and it's just a great drugstore alternative. The blush I chose as the natural counterpart to this Laura Geller Blush and Brighten in Pink Grapefruit is this Wet n Wild Color Icon Blusher in Pearlescent Pink, and I've used this and raved about it a ton before because for the price, it is an excellent blush. It has really great pigmentation, great lasting power, it's very smooth, but then it doesn't clump up, you know, it's not chalky feeling on the skin. But the reason it's kind of naturally opposite to this is because it has that shimmer. It'll be that natural highlight and blush if you are looking to get out the door and you don't have time to put on a highlighter. The difference is, though, this has more of an orangey, gold undertone instead of this Laura Geller Grapefruit, which has more of a, it's hard to describe, but the shimmer is more of a matching, you know, it's not like white or gold, the shimmer really matches the grapefruit tone, so this has a gold undertone and can sometimes get a little chunky, but not very noticeably so. So it's an excellent pick if you're looking for a drugstore blush, period. Whether or not you're looking for it to replace this or not, it's just great, and I recommend you going to check it out because I think it's like $3, so do that. My matte drugstore counterpart to the Jouer Powder Blush, this is in Peach Bouquet again, is this Hard Candy Fox in a Box, and it's in the shade Spicy and Sweet. You can see it's a bunch of pinks and like a brown in there. There are a few of these though, so if you want a peachy that is directly opposite to this Peach Bouquet, you can. I just didn't have it, and this is my favorite matte drugstore blush, so I thought I'd show this to you. And it's just, when I was looking through blushes, I forgot how much I used to wear this and love this all the time, so it's kind of nice because I've rediscovered it again, and I'll probably go back to use it a ton. But the reason why I love this is because not only is it truly a good matte drugstore blush, but you have kind of this collection of colors. Now, while it's hard to isolate just one of them, it is easy to pick up 3 or 2 or something like that. So it does give you a little bit of versatility in that respect, but it's just one of my favorite matte drugstore blushes. Alright, now for the last drugstore cheapo product to play opposite to this EF Studio matte palette is the Crown Brush 10 Blush palette, and here it is. Here, I got it at a Crown Brush event on Outlook, but you can buy them. I think this is a private label kind of deal where you can buy them from multiple different people. Mine is from Crown Brush. But basically, the reason it kind of acts like this is because you have matte blushes here. You happen to have other kinds of blushes, but there are also really good matte blushes in this palette. Another reason why it's a good palette is because you have matte, you have shimmer, you have some with downright like chunky shimmer. I wouldn't call them glitter, but there's some larger chunks of sparkle in here. And then you have blushes and bronzers. You have both kind of things. So this is a very versatile palette, but more importantly, the reason why it replaces this in a drugstore kind of collection is because it has those matte shades. The one downside with this, though, is the textures aren't always the smoothest. You know, they can go on a little patchy. You can't have a ton of fallout with these, so while they may go on pigmented and you can definitely build them, you can also bank on having a lot of fallout because they are very powdery. So great little palette, especially for the price, but do beware of that, you know, there is that kind of fallout issue. But great for traveling, especially if you're not looking to break a really expensive palette. Excellent. I use this to travel all the time. Love it. So that is it for my top 10 blushes. I think this was going to be way longer than I anticipated it being, but I really wanted you to know what my top 10 were, both 5 from high-end, 5 from drugstore, and why I like them and how they will flatter different skin types. So I hope I did that in this video. If not, please feel free to leave questions and comments in the comment section below, and I'll try my my best to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, click that button right there if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!